What are you doing?
No ape shall escape.
I'm a gorilla.
Oh. Ape Escape is one of the best games on the PlayStation 1, and it's certainly one of the best 3D platformers of all time. It has controls, graphics, music, and voice acting.
Professor, Natalie, I'm here. Don't worry, I'll get you out of here.
Oh, no, you don't. I still need them to help me, so they're not going anywhere.
Well, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. God, that sucks. Sucks so bad. I don't know how many people know this, but the PAL version has outright superior voice acting to the American localization. Spectre in the PAL version is actually intimidating at points.
No longer will humans be the dominant species. I'm going to conquer the world. Don't try to stop me. I'm going to relentlessly attack whomever tries to get in my way.
No longer will humans be the dominant species. I will rule this world. Don't bother trying to stop me.
And the Professor is a funny German and/or Frenchish stereotype.
However, it is still incomplete and is very dangerous to use right now. I advise you to return the peak point helmet right away.
However, it is still incomplete. It's never been tested and may be very dangerous to use. I insist that you bring the peak point helmet back to me immediately.
But you know what sucks? The PAL version has a built-in fuck you for people trying to emulate it. If the disc recognizes that it isn't being played on an original Sony PlayStation from the PAL region, it locks up at the main menu and none of the buttons do anything. Why would you do this? Why only for the superior version? The American one is emulatable without issue. I played it a few years ago over on my gameplay channel, but I was generally annoyed with it not being the version I grew up with. But what could I do? My disc didn't work. Of course, that was before I learned about the built-in fuck you. All these years, I thought my disc was broken because it wouldn't work on the PlayStation 2 or 3. I mean, also, look at how fucked up it is. I wouldn't blame anyone for assuming this was, broken. But now I know. It's because I wasn't playing on the original PlayStation 1. And I have an original PlayStation 1 that I just haven't used in decades. Okay, alright. So this plays fine. It's actually looking pretty great. It's recording over there as well. Alright, moment of fucking the please work, god damn it. Got Ape Escape on the big old TV. Alright. Oh my god! Yeah, it's working! I'm gonna play the whole game. Alright, forget the camera, it's working. So I can play the PAL version. Excellent. Due to this being the only way to play this version of the game, I feel especially compelled to play the entire thing and record it for posterity, even though I already have footage of the American version. It's unemulatable. When this disc completely dies and turns to dust, and that's it, then nobody will ever know about the sensual noises that this guy's making.
Power alone isn't strength. It is only a part of human strength. You have truly become stronger.
Not only that, I didn't beat Ape Escape 1 on this version, so I don't know what the cutscenes are for a lot of it. If I don't beat it now, I may never know exactly what's different. Or I could look it up, but, you know. Oh yeah. Music. The best thing about Ape Escape, aside from everything else, is the music. I don't think people appreciate quite how important to the overall experience a great soundtrack can be. Can you even think of a game that you love that has a soundtrack you don't enjoy? I don't think you can, unless you play games while listening to something else and have never once actually listened to the soundtrack, in which case you're probably the dumbest person ever in the world.
Hey, Spike, do you think the professor finished his time machine?
He said he's almost done.
Then maybe we can ride it today.
If so, I'm riding on it first.
Hey, that isn't fair, Spike. Hey!
Now, immediately my claim that the PAL version has superior voice acting may seem a tad hyperbolic, because it doesn't sound that great. I mean, what can I say? It's that certain kind of little boy voice that I can't help but imagine an old woman doing. I'm a little boy, hee hee. It's like that. But I stand by my assertion that the Professor and Spectre are definitely an improvement.
Oh, okay, I got it. This becomes this, and when it becomes that, this goes like this, therefore that became this. We did it, Katie! The time machine is completed.
This isn't the time for that!
Spike and Buzz at least sound closer to their supposed age, and really Spike sounds alright. I do like his yeahs! Buzz, on the other hand, is a fucking Teletubby.
I've been waiting for you, Spike. This will be a fight just between you and me. Follow me!
Sorry man, but angry eyes alone aren't gonna cut it. An intimidating rival, you are not.
You're pretty good. We'll fight again.
The story of Ape Escape is pretty simple. A monkey called Spectre puts on a monkey helmet developed by the Professor that gives him a superior intelligences. Then he frees all the other monkeys and gives them helmets, and then they're also kind of intelligent but not as smart as him. And then he uses the Professor's time machine to go back in time and change history so that he can take over the world. Spike and Buzz arrive at the lab just in time to be caught in the time machine and go back in time with them. Spike ends up in the time station and is able to communicate with the Professor and Katie, who give him monkey-catching gadgets so he can catch the monkeys and save the present from being fucked up by the monkeys in the past, who are allegedly not directly changing the future because the Professor's still there. And now, before you think any more about that, no. The time traveling aspect doesn't make any sense, and it isn't really explored at all. It's just an excuse for radical level variety. And that's alright by me. Also, before you say, but Hippo, apes and monkeys aren't the same. Yeah, I get it, I know. In Japan, this game is called Sarugetsu, or Monkey Getchu. They changed it to Ape Escape in English for the rhymes. So that's why everything in the game is called a monkey.
The monkeys, many monkeys, catch the monkeys, monkeys, the monkeys.
So, let's talk about the controls. The game is special in that it was designed to utilize dual analog sticks as a controller gimmick to get people to buy into this new weird technology. A joystick? But a really small one for your thumb? What the fuck? Dude! Of course, there were joysticks on controllers before the PlayStation 1, but I don't think any of them were as well designed as the DualShock. I mean, it survived for years without significant change. Even the Nintendo 64 analog stick was a bit shit. The DualShock was so good that analog sticks have since become just about as standard in controllers as buttons. I don't know how much of that success was due to Ape Escape, but I'm gonna wager 100% Ape Escape is the most important video game ever. Now, the way they designed it to utilize the analog sticks is actually fairly unique, even by today's standards. I honestly can't think of another game franchise that does anything like this. The left analog stick moves the player, that's normal. The right analog stick uses your selected gadget in the direction that you push, from the perspective of the camera. You push left on the right analog stick and Spike swings his net, like so. Each of the 4 buttons selects a gadget and you use R1 or R2 to jump, which is, unusual. L1 is to center the camera behind Spike, L2 is to go into first-person camera, L3 is used to crawl, and L3 plus R3 is used to go into the fetal position to hide from monkey view. So both analog sticks are really used to the most of their mostness. Every single button is used goodly and very usefully. Very good. It's an unusual button arrangement, but it's honestly one of the best configurations I've ever used for a 3D platformer. The idea that you don't need to line yourself up to attack an enemy, the ability to turn and perform an action instantly using the right analog stick, is just so fun and perfect for this sort of game that I am honestly surprised most games opt to relegate the right analog stick to just moving the camera. Boring. The camera in Ape Escape is perfectly fine without needing an analog stick devoted to it. It's programmed to follow the level for the most part, and if you need to see what's in front of you, you just press L1, the camera swings behind, Spike's behind, and then you can see what he's looking at. And if you need to look at something more precisely, you can use the first person view. A lot of the time you don't even need to see what you're swinging at. The enemies move rather predictably. It doesn't take much time until you're skilled enough to predict where they're gonna move, or how they're going to approach you from off screen. But I will say this only really works because Ape Escape isn't about projectiles. It isn't about shooting from a distance. You do have a slingshot gadget, but it's basically completely unusable unless you're in first person mode. If you're a 3D platformer and you have a ranged attack like Rayman 2 or Ratchet & Clank for example, you can't have a control scheme like this. Projectiles require too much accuracy for the second analog stick to be used for firing. But think of something like Sly Cooper. You see how the attacks have such a wide reach side to side? That's to compensate for not being able to turn an attack instantly. You can turn around really fast, but not instantly swing in a direction. They're coming as close as possible to the Ape Escape method as they can, without actually using the second analog stick to do that. And it's like that because they realize that it's way more fun if you don't need to precisely turn to face your enemy when attacking in a 3D platformer. My one big annoyance with Spyro was always when you were charging an enemy or a pot and you missed it slightly, and you have to slowly turn around and recenter the camera and then try again. It's not too bad, but if you compare it to Crash Bandicoot, whose spin attack is literally just a sphere of damage around him, it doesn't have that frustration. Like, Spyro would work better in 2D, let's be honest. Hey, I like Spyro. Don't you look at me like that, I like Spyro. What do you mean the fourth game? That's Hippo's favorite. It's not mine. Jak and Daxter also has a spinny attack, so you don't have to worry about direction, and now that I think about it, that's why Uncharted sucked. Where the hell is the spinny attack? Naughty Dog? Where is it? You were the spinny attack guys. Uncharted? The Last of Us? Zero! No spinny attack! How could you fucking betray me like this, you piece of shit? I'll kill you. With a spinny attack. And that's why Ape Escape is the best. Continued in part 2, where I will be talking about more apes and more escapes than you could ever fucking imagine. Or maybe you could. Go to patreon.com/Ape Escape. Oh no, that's not it. That's not my thing. There's a link. There we go.